one of the brands that we want to talk about that is a current priority for the company is the Sheraton brand. And so Sheraton is our largest it's our largest brand outside of North America. It is our most global brand, and it is one of our most iconic brands. So here to talk to us about all of the exciting things that are going on with the Sheraton brand is our Senior Vice President and Global Brand Leader, Julius Robinson. So let's give him a warm welcome as he joins us on the stage.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Well, hi everybody. It's late, so we got to stay awake. So hi everybody. There we go. I knew I'd see my family sooner or later. Hope all of you are doing great. It is so awesome for me to have the opportunity to be here with you. Tammy talked about what fuels us, or Gail talked about what fuels us, and I was asked by Doreen what fuels me. And I tried to create my own little infographic. So for those of you who are good at creative PowerPoints, please forgive me. But a couple of things I think I'll try to walk you through. One is I love this tension that happens between Same Old Street and Change Boulevard. There's something raw, right at the intersection of where those opportunities come together, because it gets personal, right? And it gets real. And people start shedding their true feelings and telling us what's really going on. And that's where the action is. So that's what fuels me in life. I love that intersection. And then the second thing are the things that drive the fuel. So what goes into my own gasoline? Well, the first thing is, well, not the first thing. That'd be my family. I'll get to them in a second. One of the things is music. And so for anybody that was born after 1998, these are vinyl records and cassettes. And I say that because, and I use that image on purpose, right? Because nothing's like the sound of true vinyl on the record player, you know? I'm still old school enough to believe in that. And then the old cassette tapes that we used to have. So music goes into the fuel. And then the other thing that goes into my fuel is I love photography. I'm not a photographer, I can't do it well, but I love it. I love capturing images that you know are gonna live on for tens, hundreds, maybe thousands of years. And then that little group inside that picture is my family. So those three people really drive who I am, and they help grow my fuel. Now, my wife doesn't know that I showed this picture. She would kill me if she knew I was showing this picture to all of you, because we had just gone through a Segway tour of Coronado Island. She would say that her hair's messed up, she looks bad. So if you know my wife, please don't tell her that I showed you all this picture. So that's what fuels me. But I'm really happy today to talk to you a little bit about the Sheraton brand. And on behalf of the Global Brand Organization, I want to take a moment to say thank you for all you do to continue to stay on our brands, to give us feedback. To Tammy's point, we are focused on driving high levels of satisfaction across all 30 brands in our portfolio. And again, for those of you that I don't personally know, my role with the company is to drive 3 of those brands. So the first brand is the Marriott brand. It's the namesake for the company. Second brand is Sheraton. And the third brand is one of our newest brands called Delta Hotels. But today, right now, we're going to talk about Sheraton. And to Tammy's point, we're going to go under the hood a little bit. I'm going to share with you a little bit about some inside baseball on what we're thinking, how we're thinking, and what you would expect to see out of this brand in the next couple months. So let's go on. So back in 2017, we launched this journey to reposition Sheraton. I have a question for you. How many of you have ever worked in a Sheraton hotel? Lots of people. And it's not even just our current associates, right? Sheraton's a brand that's been around for a very long time. If you went to hotel school back in the day, and you applied for many jobs, to get an offer from ITT Sheraton was like, this is a big deal. I feel good about what I'm doing. My career is going to be great. So Sheraton's got a lot of legacy and a lot of history. And I want to tell you about how we're using that to position ourselves for the future. So I think Doreen said it already, but you know, Sheraton's a big brand to the company. It's third largest in revenues for us. It's our most global brand, which means it's in most countries around the world compared to our other brands. And with our 465 hotels existing and the hotels that are signed to go under construction to open, we're looking at a brand of about 530 hotels around the world. Pretty large brand. The other piece to that is that this brand has 75% awareness among hotel guests. Now, for anybody that does marketing or study marketing, you would kill to have 75% awareness of anything. So we have this rich, rich history and all these naturally rich resources that we need to cultivate to bring this brand back to where it needs to be. So as we start the journey, we asked our CEO, Arne Sorensen, to talk a little bit about the brand, give us some insight, this was a year ago, about his thoughts on the brand, and he wanted to send a message that showed how important Sheraton is to the company. And so I've got a quick video to show you that articulates the story from Arne's own voice.
Before he became a knighted business magnate, Sir Richard Branson was a man with a dream to open a mail-order record business. Before he broke the color barrier, Jackie Robinson was a man with a dream to play professional baseball. Before she wrote the best-selling book series in history, J.K. Rowling was a struggling single mom with a dream to write and be free from poverty. Before he became a cultural icon and essential figure in the history of animation, Walt Disney was a man with a dream to draw cartoons. These notable figures were pioneers. They took chances. When they fell down, they got right back up again. They made their dreams come true. At Marriott International, we have a vision for Sheraton. It is our responsibility to restore this massive brand. Sheraton was the first publicly listed hotel brand on the New York Stock Exchange, and it pioneered hospitality's movement abroad as the first Western brand in China, Eastern Europe, Russia, and the world at large. Over the years, employees and guests alike have developed an unspoken yet powerful emotional affinity for the brand. Sheraton is often seen as the brand that people want to win. At 80 years young, it is time to celebrate and elevate the brand with one vision, one direction, and one track. You will see a new face, a forward approach, and a fresh method. A brand that you will fall in love with again. The best is yet to come.
So it became very clear very early on. Yes, thank you. It became very clear very early on that this brand was a priority. It's something that we're going to do. And you know, Marriott and Starwood came together, as you know, a couple years ago. And you know, it's really interesting for Wall Street because they want to know, as great as Marriott is and as great as we tell Marriott, tell the street that Marriott is, all of the brands that we've developed and the brands that we've turned around have been our own brands that we built. And so the street's kind of excited to see what happens. Does the Marriott magic really work on a brand that you didn't develop? And I'm here to tell you, it does. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges with the brand. We're going to get candid for a moment, but Tammy said we could, so we will. The brand's lagging in perception, right? The further west you go around the world, Sheraton's perceived in some cases as a luxury brand. East, the further west that you go, the perception of the brand starts to change. So it's a very different perception around the world. The portfolio, it's 81 years old. There's some hotels that have not been renovated, and they're pretty significantly in need of renovation. And so you might have one terrific Sheraton experience and then have one that's not so terrific. So we've got to work on that. Inconsistent service, just like product. Sometimes you get great service, sometimes the service levels aren't where we want them to be. And then last but not least, we want to be relevant. We don't want Sheraton to be perceived as my father's brand, my mother's brand, my grandfather's brand. So we've got to find a way to protect the 81 years of heritage, but bring it back in a way that keeps the brand fresh for a future generation of travelers. So the team got together with the support of our organization, and we came up with these 4 areas that have driven our transformation journey thus far. First one is the brand strategy, right? What's the true north? What does Sheraton mean today, and how will it impact the future? Second, how do we improve that service experience that I talked about? Third, how do we improve the product experience that I talked about? And then fourth, how do we drive the commercial engines? Meaning, how do we get you to have the confidence in us that we're going to develop and redevelop a brand that you can then start booking meetings in today, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and beyond. So those are the areas that drove our transformation journey. And so this is the part that will kind of go under the hood and tell you a little bit about how we pull this together. And I don't know if any of you have worked in brand organizations before, but I want to give you just a little bit of insight into how we go about the work of developing or redeveloping a brand. So first and foremost, you've got to find a territory. You've got to find a space that you want to play in that really relates to who you think your customer target's going to be. So we came up with 4 different kinds of territories. First one was around comfort, kind of meaning like, you stay in a hotel, it feels like home. Well, that's a good territory, but to me it wasn't differentiated enough. We needed to look for other solutions. We tested these with guests and consumers around the world, by the way. I'll tell you why in a second. The second one was around community, bringing people together, gathering, everybody coming together for a common cause in one hotel. We thought that was a really good one. The third one was local, meaning there's 465 hotels. Anywhere you go, you get a local experience. Again, that's a really good one, but not necessarily one that we felt had any differentiation to it. And then the fourth one was this notion of Americana. So kind of like Polo or Harley Davidson, right? Sheraton stands for America, and everywhere we go around the world, we're gonna promote that Sheraton's an American brand. Well, I can tell you that in this political environment around the world, that one didn't go so well. So we scratched that one off the list pretty quickly. So where we landed is the notion of community, right? And if you've been around Sheraton long enough, for the past 20 years, Sheraton's always stood for warm, hospitable, gathering, and community. As a matter of fact, they used to have a sales slogan 15, 18 years ago that said, "Meet me at the Sheraton." That was what the brand was about. So we thought, wow, this is a rich territory, the opportunity are here, the natural resources are here to develop. Let's go after that, let's go get that. There are a couple other reasons why community is so important. The Sheraton brand is rooted in community. I just talked about that. For 80 years, that's been how they talk about the brand. They used to talk about the brand. Second was that community is being redefined globally, right? Community used to be where you go to school, where you go to worship, your neighborhood. Today, with technology, community happens all over the world. All of you are members of multiple communities globally, just in how you interact on your mobile devices. And then thirdly, upstarts are actually doing what hotels used to do, right? How many people are members of WeWork or The Wing or something like that? So all these co-working spaces, right, where people are actually paying money to be part of community. That's kind of what Sheraton used to be. And so when we talked to our customer, our target guest, and we said, what does that mean to you? They said, well, when I'm not staying in my hotel room, and I'm not at home, and I'm not in my office, and I need to work, where do you think they said they go? Starbucks, right? And so they said, that's great, and Starbucks is great. But they said, in your hotels, if you could create an experience for me that's a little bit above a Starbucks, where I can kind of work, engage, relax, have people meet me there, but not quite as creative as maybe a WeWork, right? I don't want to work on a beanbag or a picnic table. Find that space in between, and you might have something. And so that's what we're going after. So we've taken all that, and we've taken this notion of our customer, who we define as the team player. And the way we define the team player, it's important that I tell you this because you'll see how it comes together, is that the team player is a guest who stays in our hotel, and they're sort of about the greater good. They're about the we over the me. I like to use a couple of examples to express who this guest is. One is, this is a guest who, they kind of think it's as important to be chief of staff as it is to be president. Both great jobs, but you know what? I don't need to be the person in the front. I'll be the person behind the person in the front, because actually that's where all the action happens anyway. So that's who the team player is. The other example I'd like to use, for those of you who know basketball, is Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, right? Two great athletes, two great superstars. Well, Michael Jordan's job was to get 65 points, right? His team needed him to do that. He was the alpha male on the team. Magic Johnson, he's a great player too, but he's the point guard. His job was to get 25 assists, right? If Magic scores 65 points, there's a problem, because the point guard shouldn't be doing that. Both great players, both high achievers, but different in how they think about the business. And it's very interesting because our Marriott guests, they identify more with Michael Jordan. Our Sheraton guests identifies more with Magic Johnson. Doesn't mean one is better than the other, they're just different. And so when you take the notion of community and you couple it with this team player who has a different philosophy about their attitude, what you get, we hope, is the world's gathering place. So the world's gathering place is the rallying call for what we want Sheraton to be in the future. If you're with the brand, you'll say, you know what? We did that already. And you did. Sheraton was always the world's gathering place. But we thought if we could go back and take its roots and then bring it up in a new way, we'd have something special. So one more video to show you that just gives you kind of a sense of how we're pulling the world's gathering place together from a brand perspective. What do you think? Thank you. I know those of you who've seen this for the first time are like, it's just a video. But trust me, we're going to bring this to life. So let's talk a little bit about the positioning. I mentioned that Sheraton was the world's gathering place. And what we're trying to do is say, okay, well, if you've got community, you've got a team player, you now have the world's gathering place, where exactly are they going to gather, right? And so the way we look at that is we match it up with the core values of the brand, which are around welcoming, being assured, and this notion of community. And we thought that our public areas are the best way to demonstrate what that experience could be. And so before I go in the public area, I want to talk to you a little bit about our guest room. So this is an example of our future guest room for Sheraton. As you'll see, it's lighter, it's a bit brighter. We have a table in that room that is about community. Not that you're having parties in your guest rooms, but it gives you an opportunity, whether you're with family or with colleagues, to sit around a table and engage. It's also a working surface that actually is height adjustable. So many of us work standing up these days. So the Sheraton table in the guest room allows you to stand up and work and lower it when you need to. So that's a cool feature that we love. There's also an acoustic panel behind the TV that provides a level of privacy and just gives you the sense that you're in the space to work, you can work, but you can also do other things. What we also heard is that the space is very bright, it's more spacious, there's less furniture. It just creates more of a residential feel. We want that warmth and that comfort to come through, but we want it to come through in the guest room. So we're really excited to be launching this room all over the United States as hotels become renovated. The other thing that we've done is we've developed what we're calling our elevated guest rooms. These are rooms that you find more probably in the eastern part of the world, in some of our more luxurious Sheraton hotels. You may see them here in the United States in a high-end market, but they take a little bit of what we built for the US room, and they add a little bit of flavor to it, a little bit of design aesthetic, and they're truly great pieces of work. We have both rooms in our sample area in China, in Shanghai, because our Asia team helped us develop these, and after seeing them, they look fantastic. We can't wait to roll this out globally all around the world. And so let me get to the public space, and then I'll let you go. As we looked at the public area, we took some time really thinking about what the modern-day public square is all about. If you ever watch World Cup, you see people gathered in the modern-day public square, people from all walks of life, people who are welcome from anywhere, coming together for a common cause. Well, we actually studied some of those and said, okay, how do we bring the world's gathering place to life in the Sheraton lobby? So a couple things came out of that experience. We kind of broke it down into 3 areas: how we work, how we meet, and how we relax. So the first thing we talk about in the work way is Access by Sheraton. This is a technology platform. So when you walk into a Sheraton hotel, you connect with the Wi-Fi, you'll be welcomed. It's going to say, hey, welcome to the Sheraton XYZ. It's going to give you a place to sit if you want to sit. If you want to order food from your mobile device, you'll be able to do that. We'll deliver it anywhere you are in the public area. We're going to have studios that you can go reserve private spaces in. If you want to reserve one of those, you'll be able to do all those things from the mobile device on your phone. The booths. I think there are booths outside. We love the booths. How many times do you try to make a call in a busy, buzzing lobby, right? It's really hard to do. Guess what? The good old phone booth is coming back. But these phone booths are so cool because it feels like you're putting on noise-canceling headphones when you close the door. We actually have a couple at headquarters, and they're being used all the time. So we're excited about bringing that. And then something that you see everywhere nowadays, but we're taking a little bit of a different spin on it, is the community table. Again, giving people a place to work, a place to gather, a place to eat. There's also drawers in that table in case you need to go to the restroom. You can lock your stuff for a little while, come back and still have it available for you. So we thought about those sorts of things. From a meeting perspective, I talked about the studios. The Sheraton Club, we're reinventing how the Sheraton Club experience will be. We're going to bring in speakers to talk about what's going on in the community. Again, bringing that community together along with guests to create the energy that we want to see in that public area. And then the community manager is in charge of the lobby to make sure that all trains are running basically on time. And then last but not least, around the relax area, we've created the Coffee Bar. That's an opportunity for you to have coffee and a cocktail in the same space, one person trained to deliver both any time of day. The Veiled Bar is a bigger bar for more convention-style hotels that allows you to have a place for you and your meeting planners and your meeting attendees to go and relax. And then this philosophy around food sharing, small plates. Again, as you're ordering food and working in our public area, we want to give you those spaces to be able to do that. And so we had all this ideation session, and we said, well, we need to find an opportunity to showcase to the world what we mean when we say the world's gathering place. And so we had the opportunity at the New York University Investment Conference this year to kind of showcase to the world what it looked like. And so we took a abandoned sneaker store on the corner of 42nd and 7th Avenue, and we created a lobby for about 3-4 days. We had the opportunity to bring 1,000 people through that space. Owners, investors, some of you who were in New York got invited to see this space. And it was an opportunity for you to engage, meet our team, and see how all these things come together simultaneously. So I have a quick video that gives you a little bit of that.
Throughout the course of the day, we're going to have media here, we're going to have owners here and investors here, folks who are really trying to understand what we're trying to do with the future of the Sheraton brand and how this vision comes to life.
The Sheraton transformation is holistic. As part of the merger, we think this is one of the most important things that we can do. It'll be really exciting to see this come together across 500 hotels in 80 countries that we operate.
The Sheraton reinvention is a journey, not a destination. We're working on this together.
Don't you hate seeing yourself on video? It's like, oh my God. The feedback from New York was fantastic. We got global recognition about what we're doing with the brand. And it's been internal. It's been more from a B2B perspective, because we really haven't wanted to come out to all of you as our guests to talk about this until we started to make some serious traction. So the feedback has been fantastic. We're really excited about it. And then a couple weeks after that, our senior leadership had the opportunity to go out and purchase a Sheraton property that we could own, that we could make our laboratory for all these new inventions about the things we're doing with the brand. So the Sheraton Grand in Phoenix is now owned by Marriott International, and it's our test bed. We're calling it Blue Domino. It's our opportunity for us to bring that lobby to life, to bring the guest room experience to life, to bring the meetings experience to life, all around the notion of community. So you can think about, well, as a meeting planner, how does community work in my meeting spaces? How does it help my meeting opportunity objectives, right? We're gonna test and do all those things with the wonderful team that's at the Phoenix Sheraton Grand. So I know they're excited about it, we're excited about it. It's gonna take some time for us to do all this to the property, but we're really excited about what this opportunity presents for us. In addition to Phoenix, there are other hotels that are going through some pretty significant renovations as well. St. Hyacinthe in Canada went through a fantastic renovation. They don't have all the bells and whistles that we just rolled out, but the renovation is very community, very engaging, and really speaks to the future of the brand. We also had the opportunity to put the Sheraton Grand name on the Seattle Grand, the Sheraton in Seattle. So really excited about that. The property went through a fantastic renovation. The hotel looks amazing. They have a wonderful Starbucks experience in the lobby, and it's all coming together with the notion of gathering, community, and the future of the brand. We also have some hotels under renovation. One of the hotels under renovation is our Dallas Sheraton. We're so excited about the investment. A significant amount of investment is going into this property. You should see it come to life sometime in the next few months, but the team is excited. Emilio gave me about 1,000 lines to say about this hotel, but I decided to spare you the details. But let me just say, this is phenomenal. If you've seen that hotel in the past, you know it was in need of refurbishment. It's going through a major one, and we're so excited to bring that forward. Eaton Center in Toronto, major renovation underway. All the public space is getting changed. Great new meeting space. Again, the future is here, and it's real, and it's now. And then most recently, we had a kickoff meeting to talk about Denver downtown. All these amazing, large convention group hotels that are going to be the first movers in bringing the new experience of Sheraton right to you. Hawaii is live with new renovations. Good things are happening there. And then we took a moment to highlight some of our spotlight hotels. These are products that have already gone through renovation, and again, demonstrate a nod to the future about how this brand will come to life. So the journey so far has been fantastic. We've had an opportunity to build the identity for the brand. We've had an opportunity to show the world what we mean by the world's gathering place. And now as we get to the end of the year, it's about driving performance, delivering those renovations, working on all those key focus areas that I mentioned to you, and then giving you an opportunity to experience something new, something fresh, and something re-energized in Sheraton that you might not have heard or seen before. You know, the best part about the video that I ran with Arnie's voice is that he says something basically to the notion of Sheraton is the brand that everybody wants to win. And whether you stayed in the brand, you work for the brand, with a brand with that kind of heritage and that kind of legacy, everybody's rooting for Sheraton. So I'm really excited to have had the opportunity to share with you the future, what's going on, and how we're moving it forward. But before I walk off stage, there's one thing that I need you to do for me. You ready? Ready? Okay. Can you turn the lights up just a little bit? I need everybody in this room to raise their right hand. And I need everybody in this room to look at their neighbor. If it's not that neighbor, then it's the other neighbor. And just for a minute, just repeat after me. I state your name. Don't say state your name. Say your name. Promise to never, ever, 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 ever speak poorly of the Sheraton brand ever, ever, ever again. Got it? Got it. Thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Please welcome